Hello, everybody, and welcome back to a bite-sized Thursday little romp thing. I'm trying to change it up. A subsidiary of Slate Media. Every Thursday, me and Jake sit in a small room in a basement and get real close. And we're watching Star Wars Visions, where this is the end of Season 1. The 9th episode overall, called Akakiri. Another Science SARU animation again. Second. The second one, again, we mentioned a couple things they worked on. The Night of Short Walk On Girl, Lou Over the Wall, and of course they worked on, where is it? I just had it pulled in front of me, and the Scott Pilgrim anime show.
Oh, okay, maybe this will be a bit less.
Yeah, they did Toby T0B1.
Yeah.
Yep, so we'll see if this has similar animation or not. The last studio to have a second one was a couple weeks ago, Studio Trigger, and their 2 episodes were different styles.
Very different.
Yeah, so we'll see if Akakiri is any different than Toby. And yeah, we got some familiar names in the cast for the English dub. We got Henry Golding and George Takei. How do you say it?
Takei is what I've always heard.
Okay. So those are the 2 I recognize. Again, we've not seen any of these post the first 2 episodes. This is all new. We did not look up what any of the episodes are about going into this kind of just open mind. And I've liked every single one. Some of them I've loved. I
liked every single one. I was not a big fan of the Toby one.
Gotcha. But still, like, most of these, we keep saying the same thing. There's a good chance we'll say it after the break, but... Yeah, anything to add before we watch?
No, it's hard to add anything when we literally don't know anything about it.
Yeah. Alrighty. So then, let's
take a bite.
Welcome back. That was the 9th and final Season 1 episode of Visions entitled Akakiri, Science SARU animated effort, their second of this season, and we're going to say it again.
We're going to take a full series of this.
Yeah. We've said it almost every week.
I really like this. I like it better than the other Science SARU one, which is the Toby one.
Toby one, yeah.
And not because I didn't like Toby, but just this is more my speed.
It's much more anime that you're used to watching, as opposed to, because what do we say? The other one is more like Astro Boy looking anime, and this one's much more... What's a good comparison? Samurai Shampoo. Is it Shampoo? How do you say it? You know what I'm talking about. How do you say it?
I don't know.
That's the first one I thought of. Samurai
I don't know what you're talking about.
I should have just said Cowboy Bebop, because it's the Cowboy Bebop guy.
That's right.
Yeah, but Shampoo. Give up, Jared. But yeah, when I read the title, I go, the first thing I think of is, oh, Akira. No, and then I think of the 60s samurai movie Harakiri. No, it's Akakiri. So, and another example of the story moves so fast, because it has to. But this one especially.
They animated the lightsaber, though.
Oh yeah, the look of it was great. But they meet up, they go on a journey, and then they get to the final spot in like 6 minutes. And then the last 6 minutes are at that location with the duel, and then his little flashback, and then he kills people, and then becomes the Sith apprentice, and it ends. And it's like, I don't mind it leaving off like that. We don't need everything tied up in a bow. But it was only 12 minutes of actual content, and it's just... We were already saying stuff about the pacing and speed of everything at 20 minutes, and now here we are, we're almost half that length, with much more story being told. Again, this feels like a whole season, not just one arc, like one long, like 20 episode thing.
Mm-hmm. I think the greatest sin of this is not giving enough time for development. I think that probably they had a whole like season written out for that, probably like a whole story, and like with a lot of the videos that we make in our other endeavors, we have to cut a bunch of it out, and things that we feel are key to the story.
Yep. And it's a shame, because again, we've said it, this is the creativity in all of these is way more than anything Star Wars ever. part of it's we're biased because we like animation. We like anime. Him, of course, being more into anime than I am, and just the medium just being so much more expressive, so much more visually interesting, and there's no limitation to it. Outside of if you don't connect to animation, like we've talked about different generations, that's the divide. But if you do connect to it and you like it, then it can be anything you want it to be.
I do like how this one ended differently.
Downer ending, more, the
none of the rest of them have ended like that.
No, everything else kind of ties up with a little bow or sets up like something hopeful. This one's like, no, things are bad.
Curious if next season is going to be more from like a Sith perspective, and that was just the turning point.
Yeah,
that would be interesting. If I'm honest with you, I don't think it'll happen, but
that would be cool.
Be interesting.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I think did every single episode have to do with Jedi? Did every single one?
I think so.
Jedi or Sith, and
I think that's why the color scheme was blue.
And it makes sense. And Star Wars is a product of samurai movies. Makes sense why it works so well in that format. In samurai movies, of course, taking a bunch from Western, so you have kind of both working in it. And I get it. And I see the next episode for season 2's title that we'll say later, and it's like, yeah, we're gonna keep going on this, and that's fine. I kind of want an episode that has no Jedi or Sith in it at all, just to see what that take would be.
I was just thinking that while we were watching this, is the only thing that really predicates it to be a Star Wars thing in my mind is like a lightsaber, but like, what does that universe look like outside of that? Is it even considered Star Wars? And we have we have an interesting question coming up with a new Star Wars game that's releasing. Like, it's called Star Wars Outlaws. Apparently, it has nothing to do with the Force, nothing to do with anything. It's just set in the world of Star Wars, in between The Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi.
Interesting.
Not that has anything to do with Visions. I was thinking about what Jared said literally as we were watching this, because a lot of this doesn't really feel like Star Wars. There's a lot of this specifically that felt more like Avatar.
Yeah, mostly the music was
music was cool though.
Yeah. I will say, going off of the things that don't involve Jedi or Sith, some of the fan favorite Clone Wars episodes are clone focused. The first one being the episode in season 1 called Rookies, where
that the one where they're going through the training and
no, that's in season 3. It's the same group, but it's a prequel to that episode, because remember, all the episodes are out of order, anthology. And Rookies,
I watched them in order.
You did watch them in order. Yeah. That's why. Yeah, and Rookies takes place at an outpost with a small group of them, and commando droids attack, and they have to get back into the station, and it focuses on the clones more as individuals and how they try to be unique from each other. And I remember seeing that was about 2008 when it came out. So here I am, 14 years old, going, this is cool. I never would have thought about them other than just what we've been shown at that point, the second and third movies. But that was the best part of those shows.
Even so, the clones are categorically Star Wars. I'd like to see something that maybe isn't what we've ever seen before, not predicated on the clones, not predicated on Jedi or anything like that. Just, this is in the Star Wars universe outside of all that.
It's like whenever they have shows or anything that the main character is not Jedi or Sith, they still bring Jedi or Sith, or they bring other familiar Star Wars things, because they want the Star Wars fans to be happy, point at the TV, Leo meme, and go,
no, I think, so with Ocho and Hop, I think that's a smart way to do it. It doesn't have, it has the Empire, but.
Yeah, and they talk about Jedi.
They don't really say Jedi, though.
They did.
They did?
Yes.
Huh. I didn't even
in the little backstory thing, when they first open the lightsaber and it does the different animation, scroll, he says there were these ancient warriors called Jedi.
Didn't hear that.
I was saying, it feels like in a lot of the live action shows too, they have to constantly reference things or bring things in or cameo things to make it feel quote unquote like Star Wars, because Star Wars fans don't like anything new.
I mean, we've all seen the ending to Mandalorian 2 at this point. I'm not gonna spoil it, but we know what happens.
And that's fine to do if it's like one thing, but it feels like every episode there has to be something that connects it. I love the connections in season 2, so I am kind of part of that crowd that, in that sense. But I also, now that we've gotten another season and watching other shows, it's like I kind of want something separated from it.
This is separated from it.
Other than this, something that is canon that's separated.
Oh, well.
Because like these, at a certain point, we'll be like, these are cool, and I wish these were longer, but they're not. Yeah, you only get the one story.
I don't think you're ever going to get that.
No.
I think Andor would probably be your safest bet for that.
Probably. I haven't seen it. But you know what I'm trying to say. They have to cater to an infantile fan base that we are part of again.
The thing that makes them money?
Yep, it makes sense. Of course they do that. It's just stupid that's how things play out.
That's fair.
They have to be familiar enough for them to like it, but they can't. But they can't take any risks, because if they do, you get The Last Jedi, where everyone's mad for the dumbest reasons.
It's such a good movie, except for the casino parts.
Yeah.
Even that boy pulling the broom across the hallway or whatever it was. Everyone's so hot and bothered by that. I don't really care. It just shows that the Force can reside within any of us.
Yeah. But yeah, that was that's all I really have to say about Akakiri. There's not much to say. It was probably the shortest one we've had so far.
I mean, you don't really get to know who the princess is. You don't really get to know who the other dude is. Just that he turns bad.
Yep.
In 12 minutes.
Yeah, it's okay. Well,
it's not my favorite. Actually, the more I think about it, Ocho and Lop might be one of my top favorites.
Yeah, since it's the end of the season, we'll at the end of this whole thing, we'll give our final thoughts and talk. We'll talk our favorite. But Volume 1, what do you have a favorite episode, Jake? Just one.
I could probably give you a top 3. I'll just do the top 3 because it's easier.
I was just gonna say the top one.
I don't remember the name of it. The one with the tower that was like a lightsaber. That was really good.
The Ninth Jedi?
Yes. Lop and Ocho was really good. The twins was really good. Those are the 3 that really, really stick out in my mind.
Gotcha. I think I'm just going to say one, and I would say I think the duel is kind of the height for me. It kind of set the bar high. That's the first one.
Yeah, I can see that.
I think it's my favorite art style of all of them. And I mean, there's plenty that I like, but that one was like, and I've seen it twice too, so maybe that factors in too. But that was the one I think is my favorite so far. We're only halfway through the whole thing so far, as a Volume 3.
Hard to pick a favorite when they're all so different, and there was really only one that I didn't connect with.
That was Toby. Yeah. That's Season 1, or Volume 1, as it says. We'll start Volume 2 right away next week. Any other thoughts on the season before we get to...
Really good. I hope it continues to be this good. We looked at the thumbnail for the next season real quick before I could exit out of it on my browser, and not excited about the art style, really. Hopefully it remains kind of more hand animated than not.
Yeah, we'll see. That's next week. All right, Jake. If they want to listen to more, where can they follow us and listen to us?
One of my drinks here. If you want to follow us, you can, of course, check us out on Tuesdays, walking through the Marvel series, getting more and more phased out. If you want to come back here for more lightsaber swinging action, come back here on Thursdays. Otherwise, you can check us out on Facebook, X,
formerly known as Twitter,
Instagram, the ever funny TikTok. If you want to listen to us, you can listen to us on Apple, Spotify, Google, anywhere. Well, iHeartRadio is another one of them.
Yeah.
Anywhere you get your podcasts. If you listen to us on a platform where you can give a rating, we ask that you please give a rating. Leave a review. It really helps us out, gives us some feedback. And then, of course, you can check us out right here on YouTube. See our lovely, lovely faces. Hit that subscribe button. Ring our bell. Get notified when we upload new content. Other than that, what's next week?
Next week is titled Just Sith. And that's it. So we'll good chance we'll see some crazy Sith. So, but that's next week. So until then,
take a bite.